This vid is titled, Wake Up, Wake the Fuck Up. Reverend Valerie Love at your service. Can we talk? America, the world, right now is at what we call boiled frog. How do you boil a frog? You put a frog into a pot of very pleasant water. And the frog feels good and the frog is moving around feeling good. And you continually turn up the heat on the frog until the frog is cooking and the frog never knew what hit him. That's what's happening now. That's the basis of this message. Wake up, wake the fuck up. Because America, the world, humanity, the mass of humanity, we're asleep and we need to wake up. Let's talk about religion, shall we? Now, we know that religion is a concoction of humans. God didn't make up religion. All beings are spiritual beings. You are a spiritual being. You are a sovereign being. You are an autonomous being. You were created with a beautiful mind. Your greatest gift is your mind. If you give your mind over to someone else, they have you. Because if I have your mind, I have your body. If somebody has your mind, they can get your body to do anything they want it to do. So why do we need to wake up, wake the fuck up? Because humanity is sleepwalking right now. We're drones, just sleepwalking, sleepwalking, sleepwalking. How does it play out in religion? Well, if you go to church, Black people, I hope I'm going to step on somebody's toes right now. I hope so. Here's the Bible right here, right? Here's my good Christian Bible. Here's my Bible right here. See it? Holy Bible. Yes, the good right reverend's going to read her Bible. Oh, absolutely. I read my Bible every day. Got my charms in my Bible. Oh, yes. And yet I understand and realize that this amazing book that I was born and bred on, they put this book in my hands when I was 4 years old, became a Jehovah's Witness. Here, take this book. Not this exact one. Jehovah's Witnesses have their own Bible, right? Put a Bible in my hand when I was 4 and said, this is the good book. This is the only one that's right. Everything else ain't right. This is it. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. That ain't so. A group of men got together in a room, a conclave, let's call it, and decided what was going to go in this book. And decided, picked and choose. First of all, there was no women in the room, so that's a tip off right there. That something wasn't right. The divine feminine is not present. And you are creating the Holy Bible. Mind you, I read the Bible. What I'm saying to you is there's more to the picture. Wake up. 66 books in here, right? 66. And they espouse this in church like this is the be-all, end-all. This ain't the be-all, end-all. This is a portion of the story. If you're only reading this book, you don't have the whole story. This is coming from a woman who has been to Africa, Asia, Indonesia, India, the Americans, throughout the Caribbean, just simply observing. Simply observing. Not allowing my mind to be taken over by a religion. Yes, I was in a religion for 26 years, from the age of 4 to the age of 30, until I had a profound soul awakening that looked like a deep depression where I was about to take myself out with a bottle of pills. And something brought me back from the edge. It said, wake up, wake the fuck up. Life ain't what you think it is. It's not. No. There's more than this religion. There's more to life than this religion. I do not understand Black people who are so freaking loyal to the very institution that was used to enslave us and justify being beat to death and worked down to the quick, all in the name of God. The very same thing that was used to enslave us is the very same thing we ourselves have now taken on, because religion has people's minds. Not all people's minds. There's a lot of people in religion that have a free mind. And if you want to see someone who has a church and has a free mind, go to Pastor Ray Hagins. Look at his video series right here on YouTube, 6-part video series, What Shall We Do with Jesus? Hoo-hoo, start opening your eyes. Wake up, wake the fuck up. So they got together and they decided what 66 books were going to go in here. Well, what about the lost books of the Bible? Well, what about the Apocrypha? Well, what about the book of Enoch? Oh, they don't want you to read the book of Enoch, because if you read the book of Enoch and you really got the book of Enoch, you would never set foot in a church again, probably. Maybe not as you do now, just kind of going along drones. It's one of the means that society has used to condition the mass consciousness of humanity. And we're just drones, robots just going along, go to church every Sunday. Oh, yeah, yeah, thank you, Jesus. Oh, yeah, hallelujah. Wake up. There's more to the story than that. I hope I'm hurting your feelings. I forgot to put the warning at the top of this vid. Here's the warning. If you easily get your feelings hurt, click off. Boo-boo, go watch one of those other vids on the side. Click off. If you don't like cussing, oh, she's offending my sensibilities, click off. Watch one of them other related videos, suggested videos. Watch another one of my vids where I don't cuss. If you do not want your cherished beliefs snatched from you like a child's security blanket, click off. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. Maybe it's over there. Wherever the related vids are, click off. And if you are not ready to awaken, enlighten, and stand in your sovereignty as an autonomous being, as God created you to be a free spirit. Do you see what I have on today? Free spirit. If you are not ready to do that, click off. Come back to this vid maybe 5 years, 10 years from now on YouTube. It'll still be here. Maybe then you'll be able to wake up. Or maybe then you'll be ready to wake up. If you're not ready to wake up, and if you don't want to have your mind messed with right now because you're too comfy where you are, click off. And for the rest of you brave souls, let's go deeper. How far does this rabbit hole go down? Ooh, Alice, you ain't in Wonderland no more. Or maybe you are entering Wonderland. You have left that land where it looked like everything was how it was supposed to be, but it wasn't really like that. Religion told you, pick up this book, Bible, 66 books, King James. Who the fuck is King James? Can somebody tell me? And how did he get to be king of the Bible? Better do some research on King James and what that really means. Excuse me. My family didn't let us have a Bible on the floor ever at any moment in time. It's very sacred in our house. They tell you to read the Bible, but then they tell you that this, a deck of tarot cards that will enlighten you, that will lift your consciousness to a whole new level, teach you the Kabbalah, the secrets of the universe in simple pictorial form, symbology. Oh, they'll tell you this is the devil's picture book. But no. This is what you got to stay with. You got to stay with the Bible. Why I say, you know what? Give it all to me, because I am going to study to show myself approved. Wake up, wake the fuck up. This is no time for you to be sleeping. You came to the planet right now to participate as part of your destiny in the awakening of the consciousness and the ascension, evolutionary ascension of the mass consciousness of humanity. You wouldn't even be have attracted to this video if you did not come to this earth. Your soul come to the earth for this express purpose. And then when you get here, somehow they got your mind and you got conditioned and programmed and you became a robot and you forgot what your destiny was, that you came here to awaken and to awaken the entire planet, and said, hey, wake up, wake the fuck up. We're sleeping. Let's go to politics. Oh, we're watching Donald Trump on TV now. Oh, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Mitt Romney. You think it makes a difference? Do you really think that you have a vote? one of the favored means to enslave a people, and I'm not even just talking about black people, I'm talking about humanity. Read David Icke's book, Human Race, Get Off Your Knees. The Lion Sleeps No More. David Icke tells us that masses of humanity being controlled. Dr. Pillai, when I was in India, sat at this master's feet. He said the whole world is controlled by 65 people, a list of 65 names. Wow. We thought it was about 500 to 1,000 names or families that control the whole world. He boiled it down to 65 names. Where do you think those people have gotten their control from? Higher entities that are about control. Right? Now, how can you control a whole planet of 7 billion sovereign beings? How could you do that? You got 7 billion gods walking around on the planet. 7 billion gods and goddesses walking around on the planet. How would you control all 7 billion sovereign beings? Well, you would have to take over their mind, and you would first have to make them think in their mind that somehow they are free, and you would also have to make them think that somehow you are benefiting them, that you are helping them. That is the basis of this world order that, yes, Barack Obama is a part of as well, the new world order that has the clear, express intention and plan to create one world government. You already see it happening, and we're going to rule everyone and everyone. It's a socialist makeup. The plan is free, open, easy to read on the internet. Do some research, and they laid out their entire plan of how they are going to take over this entire earth. And they're going to make it into a somewhat of a socialist structure. That means mass government. That means mass control. That means we give you what you need, and we're going to tell you what you need. And they truly, some of them are nefarious. Some of them are malign. Some of them, like Barack Obama, in my experience of Barack Obama, really truly believe that this is the best thing for humanity. We'll tell you what you need. You need government. Now, why do we think we need government? Because the government has done a very good job of convincing you that you need the government. So when people like me come along, a libertarian or an anarchist or a person who says, wait a minute, you're a sovereign being, I'm a sovereign being, you rule yourself, I rule myself. My son created these shirts that says, I rule myself. We start thinking all kinds of craziness. We can't have everybody just running around ruling themselves. Somebody's going to kill somebody. Well, isn't that happening now? Well, somebody's going to just take something from somebody else that they worked hard for. Well, isn't that happening now with massive government? Well, somebody's going to do something to somebody else, and we're not going to be able to do anything about it. Well, isn't that happening now? But yet, you have been conditioned to believe that you need the very entities who have sworn a pact to take over your mind by convincing you that you're free and that you are being helped, indeed, by the entities that are taking over your mind. We're helping you. Let's go to education, shall we? This is another system of mass mind control. We've got the religious system. Let's go to the education system. We've got the political system. They're going to take over. They want to take over the entire world. They really have taken over the entire world, except for the ones who are free. Their minds are free. They're not in the matrix anymore. Free yourself of the matrix. Let's go to education. You have a baby. You and your hubby have a baby, or you and your boo, or you or whomever has a baby. You love your baby. You're the mother of the baby or the father of the baby. You love your baby. Oh, this baby is so wonderful, a gift from God, or whatever you say. Allah, this is beautiful. What a blessing, this baby, yes? And you feed the baby, and you look at the baby when the baby's sleeping, and you pray over the baby, or you send the baby love. You love this baby. And then the baby starts to grow, and you're like, oh, the baby said mama. Oh, the baby said dada. The baby didn't say any of that. The baby is simply intoning consonants and practicing. But when the baby says mama, you get so excited. Oh, did you hear her? She said mama. And the baby sees the reaction and says it again. Mama. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She said, or dada. Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm dad. Yeah, she said my name first. You know, so, right? That's what we're doing, right? So here comes the baby, and the baby turns 2, and the baby rolls on the floor and has a tantrum, and he wants a lollipop, lollipop, lollipop. And you say, no lollipop now, because you can't have all this sugar. And they fall out on the floor. You know, it's like, oh, wow, they're becoming their own person, right? And then they're 3, and they say, hey, Mom, why is the sky blue? And Dad, where do seeds come from? And who made that tree? You know, at 3, they start asking all those questions, right? And then they turn 4, and they're like playing ball with Dad and cooking with Mom, or playing ball with Mom and cooking with Dad, or however it goes in your family, right? So 5, let's say I show up at your door and I say, that kid, give me your kid. And you say, what? Give me your kid. I have these papers here. Let me find some papers. Yeah, I have these papers here. These papers make it official. Give me your kid. Give me your... What are you supposed to do with my kid? Well, I'm going to take your kid for the next 20 years, from the age of 4 to about the age of 24. I'm going to condition their mind every day by putting them in a classroom for 8 hours. I'm going to teach them only what I want them to know. And I'm going to teach them what I want them to know so that they can serve me and my buddies who own the world. They can serve us in our means to continue to have more power, more riches, more whatever we want, because we want to take over the world. We don't want anyone to come into their own destiny. We don't want anyone to wake up. We can't take the chance that your kid may wake up and be in their own destiny and be a fully realized being. So we're going to take over your kid, and we're going to take your kid, and we're going to put them in this cafeteria, and we're going to feed them really low vibration food, and we're going to food that's all pretty much beige, no colors, pretty much beige. We're going to put sodas in the machine so they can drink soda and acid mixed together, fry their brain real good, and we're going to flood them throughout the day with fluorescent light and poison their energetic system. And yeah, after we do that for like 20 years, your kid will belong to us. Yeah, they'll call you Mom and Dad. They'll still call you Mom and Dad. They belong to us. They belong to the system. We own your kid, and we're taking your kid now. Your kid is 5. We came to pick your kid up. Now, you're going to have either one of 3 reactions to that. You're going to either say, you have exactly 5 seconds to get off my doorstep before I get my Glock. Or, that's what the people would have said in the hood where I'm from, right? We get my Glock. Or, number 2, you could say, this person is hysterical. What kind of joke is this? Are we on like Candy Camera or something like that? You know, you just laugh hysterically. Or number 3, you might say, sounds good to me. Here's my kids. And the kid is standing there holding on to your leg. No, Mom and Daddy, don't let them take me to the school for 8 hours. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. Don't let them take your kids. And I know with some people in the hood watching this, if you're ghetto fabulous, hood rat, I'm from the hood. I'm not ghetto fabulous, and I'm not a hood rat. You can let the ghetto fabulousness and the hood radishness come out of you. Don't hold on to it. There's no need to hold on to it in the bigger scheme of life. In hood rats, they might say, yeah, take my kids. These baby kids, they so bad anyway. Let them go to school. Stop it. Wake up, wake the fuck up. Stop letting them take your children and condition their minds and turn them into a robot all day long. But it's so normal to us, the way this whole system is set up, that when someone comes and says something like unschooling or homeschooling, I ain't got no time for that. Well, it is very clear, overwhelmingly clear, that the education system that we have right now is freaking broken, and that it is not serving the destiny of those who are on planet Earth right now, and that most children are even far beyond it, with the star children and the crystal children and the indigo children that have been landing on the planet, that they are far beyond the system that the school tries to keep them in. And because they are so far beyond the school, and the school can't even comprehend the kind of consciousness that these children are coming in with now, that they say, oh, something's wrong with your child, they got ADHD, let's give them some Ritalin, pill these kids up, drug them up, because we can't deal. We need you to sit down, go along with the program, memorize all the stuff that we're telling you to memorize. That's one way I got through school, because I never believed any of the stuff they were telling me. I was looking at it like, okay, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Something like about that didn't sound right to me. So what I did in school, I just used my photographic memory, and I just remembered everything. And when it was time for me to regurgitate it, I just regurgitated it, A, B, C, D, on the little test that they gave me, because that's what they want you to do. Condition your mind, condition your mind. But somewhere in the back of my mind, I never let them have my mind. Somehow there was something in me that never let anybody or anything have my mind. Oh, and don't think that there have not been multiple attempts to take my mind. Do not think it. There's multiple attempts to take your mind. I had 2 husbands. Both of them wanted my mind. I was like, no, I got my own mind. Thanks. You have your mind, I have mine. Thanks, but no thanks. They wanted me to listen to them. The first one didn't really mind if I did what I wanted me to do. The second one, who is twin flame, major conflict, major power struggles, because the Bible says be submissive to your husband. No, that don't land right in my spirit. No, I have my mind, you have your mind. You use your mind, I'll use my mind. If we harmonize in the use of our mind, right use of our mind, divine mind, then we are to be together in sacred space. If we do not harmonize, we will not be together in sacred space. And that's how it is. Now, here's your third reaction you might say if I say, give me your kid. He's 5, give me your kid. You don't want to unschool. What's unschooling, Reverend Val? Unschooling means you don't need to freaking send your kid to a school. One of the most genius men I've ever heard that was a product of unschooling. He had written a book, and in the book he talked about his unschooling experience. He said his parents were very progressive, and he said every morning his parents asked him, what do you want to do today? They weren't uncaring parents. They weren't irresponsible parents, which is what a conditioned drone in the system, in the matrix would say. No, they're just irresponsible. They're not sending their children to school. We have to do what the system tells us to do. Shut up. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. Stop that. You don't have to do what the system tells you to do with your own kid. What does God say? God says you're a sovereign being. God says your child is a sovereign being. God says you are autonomous. God says you have the power and free will to make a choice about how you'll live, what you'll do, what you'll think about, how you will be. All of that's your choice. And as long as you are using your choice in a way that does not infringe upon the choice of other human beings, you are free to do as ye will. That is the reed, or the Wiccan reed, or a rule or a code for witches, wizards, magical workers. We have a code. The code is, and it harm none, do as ye will. And it harm none, do as ye will. That's the code to live by. Harm none, do as ye will. But they have conditioned us to believe that if everybody is doing as you will, there'll just be mass anarchy. No, that's what we call a society of free, fully realized beings. So I tell you, give me your kid, 5 years old. I got the papers. I own your kid. Well, if they put it to you like that, you'd have one of 3 choices. One, you get my Glock. 2, laugh hysterically, shut the door. That must have been a joke. Let's go back to what we were doing before. 3, give it to them. Or I would offer this. Invite the person in, sit down and have a conversation with them. And really come to a greater understanding and awareness of everything that's going on. And is this the kind of world that we truly are desirous of co-creating together? When my eyes started opening, it was time for me to send my daughter to school, my third child to school. My first two went to school. My third child, I was waking up. I had her when I was 40. I was waking up. I was like, whoo, whoo, whoo. I was seeing all kinds of stuff. I knew that she was not going to go to school. I knew that she was not going to go to any school. And I was advocating for homeschooling. I was advocating for unschooling. However, her dad was like, he's traditional and he wanted her to go to a school. I said, okay, let me find the freest school I could possibly find. Let it be in nature. Let it be somewhere. I searched and I found a Montessori school. That was the freest school I could find. And do you know what friends and family used to say to us? This is the system talking. Montessori? Why is she going to Montessori? They ain't got no report cards. How you going to know how your kid is doing and your kid ain't got no report cards? Do you hear the voice of fear and ignorance speaking? Report cards. Who the hell needs a report card? You need to tell me a report on how well I am being God? Is that what the report card is going to tell me? If it's not telling me that, I don't need no report card. They ain't got no tests. Right. We don't want our child subjected to tests. For what? Don't this universe got enough tests? How you going? They ain't got no grades. Right. Because a human being cannot be graded. There is no A, B, C, or D, or E, or F, or failed human beings. There are only divine beings who are sovereign, who are having experiences. Maybe I learned, or I not even learned, maybe I remembered Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and I can say it perfectly. I press that button A. Oh, and now I got an A on my, what is that doing for my life? Is that really a determining factor on how well I'm going to do in my life? How well I can remember all these facts that you tried to stuff into my head while I was in the schoolroom? I just put all the answers that they told me. I took the stuff to the, the memory bank. I spit it back on the paper. Then I let most of that stuff go. So we were looking for a Montessori school. So the friends and family, they ain't got no grades. They ain't got no tests. They ain't got no report cards. I was like, yes. It's in the middle of the woods. Yes. They go out in nature every day. Yes. We don't tell them what to do. Yes. They're choosing their own lessons, because Maria Montessori observed children and she realized children learn what they need to learn when they need to learn it. All we have to do is make everything available to them that we are offering for them to learn. And what I'm saying is that your children, they already came here knowing everything that they need to know, because they are supreme beings, sovereign beings. Let's talk about food, shall we? So people out here going to Crack Donald's, Murder King, Taco Hell, Bo Strangles, and as Dr. Baruch calls it, International House of Pulmonary Disease. Yes, we got this from our beloved brother, Dr. Baruch, who teaches us how to eat food that is high vibration food. The forces that be, not the powers that be, because if we read the book from Dr. David R. Hawkins, we find that power versus force, power wins every time. So when we are inviting you to stand in your power and not be a drone, an automaton, a robot, go to the drive-thru, get some Burger King, get some Chick-fil-A, eat a chicken. You're eating fear when you eat a chicken. Oh, Chick-fil-A is supposed to be better than McDonald's? I used to think that too. At least they use real chicken. Why? A chicken is the most fearful bird. If grandmother, God bless her soul, 94, one of my ancestors now, and her sister passed on at over 100, Art Marvel, grew up on a farm, ate all vegetables and fruits that they themselves grew, or churned the butter themselves that they grew, or that came up on the neighbors' farms. That's what they grew up in. They said, you are what you eat. So If I go to Crack Donald's, Murder King, Bo Strangles, Taco Hell, International House of Pulmonary Disease, Murder King, what am I becoming if I'm getting my food out of a piece of paper and a paper bag, or I'm eating a chicken, a bird that is the most fearful bird, afraid of his own shadow? I am literally eating fear. Oh yes, put that chicken wing down. Wake up, wake the fuck up. Put your chicken wing down, boo-boo. You can't eat no chicken wing while you watch Reverend Val. Oh, I've had my share of chicken wings. Oh yeah, fry them up, barbecue, da. You couldn't get me to go. You couldn't get me to put a chicken. You couldn't get me in the same room with a chicken wing right now. I pass a Chinese, I go on the other side of the street. They're not the only ones that make chicken wings. I see a chicken wing, I'm going the other direction. Okay, let's go to the sugar, the number one drug on the planet. Sugar. This is another way people they take over your mind because you're in a sugar haze. When I stopped drinking soda, my sugar haze went away and I started to see the world for what it really was. I started to see things. I started to wake up. Stop eating sugar because the sugar is attacking the organs of the body, one of which is the brain, that is the conduit to the mind. Now, can we talk about where I came from in the configuration when I was young, when I was growing up? In the configuration I came from in this incarnation, when I came in as an African American girl, Negro, Black, whatever you want to call it, born in Harlem in the 60s. That's the paradigm, right? That's the personality story. That's what my soul set up as the perfect conditions to come into for the work that I'm to do on this planet, living destiny. They did things like kill a pig and pull the intestines out of the pig and clean the intestines out. Now, mind you, you are what you eat. Clean the intestines out from the pig. Wash it, chop it up in little pieces, put it in the pot to cook it, put vinegar and hot sauce in the pot, and then put it on a plate and call it chitterlings. Oh, chitlins. They put that in front of me when I was little. I was like, horrible. Oh, Valerie, stop it. You... I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Never has a chitlin. And everybody around me, oh, you got to, what, girl, you don't eat chitlins. Girl, what's wrong with you? Pardon me for not wanting to eat a sack that had, may I go there, shit in it. That was the purpose of it. And now I'm going to eat it? Why? Why? If something tastes good, is that the only paradigm? Is that the only, what's the word I want to use? Determining factor as if you're going to eat it or not? Because it tastes good? Well, is it good for you? Does that come into the picture? They took a cow and they took out the liver of the cow and they washed it and fried it in a pan and put it in front of me. Liver, kill me, why don't you? They took a pig. Now, Mom got me the cute little book, 3 little pigs. Oh, 3 little pigs, how wonderful. Then the next thing you know, pig feet is on the table in front of me. I thought we just read the 3 little pigs. Did somebody take a pig and cut the foot off and put it in a pot? There's a pig foot sitting on the plate. I'm supposed to eat this? Hell to the no. Stop it. Now I understand the whole slave diaspora, soul food cuisine. Black people were very inventive because at one point, that's all we had to eat were the feet of the pig, the entrails of the pig, the ears of the pig, the snout of the pig, the tongue of the cow, the liver of the cow. And I understand we were very inventive because when we were here in America, they already took all the bacon and the steaks and all of that from the animals, and what was left was what they threw out. And our big mamas that worked in the kitchens, they looked at it and they said, well, what are we gonna make out of this? And they made some amazing cuisine out of what they had. And now they did that, thank God, so we could survive until now. But you do not take on what was a coping mechanism and all that you had in the past. You honor it. And they did all that so we could go to a higher level. You stand on the shoulders of powerful ancestors who overcame slavery, who overcame whatever was in your ancestral line to do the best they could with what they had so that you can come to this place and ascend. My little thingies are falling off. Right? That's it. So it's not for you to keep saying, well, I'm going to eat my pig's feet. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. Wake up. Food. That's how they continue to hold on to your mind. The last place I am going to charge us to wake up, we've talked about the religious programming and conditioning. We've talked about the political programming and conditioning. We've talked about the educational programming conditioning. We've talked about the conditioning through food. Now we're going to talk about the financial sector, shall we? A quote that is one of my favorite quotes, one of my very favorite quotes on the planet with regard to the financial system. Mayor Amschel Rothschild wrote, this is founder of Rothschild. He said, permit me to issue and control the money of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws. He's telling you exactly what he believes, and he's also telling you that he is going to take over the money supply. And I don't care what anybody thinks of it, and I don't care who makes the laws, because I'm going to take over the money supply. So he and his buddies got together in the dark of night, under very stealth and covert conditions, and came together in the dark of night and created a beast. And you can read all about it in the book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. They created a beast. And this beast was to be their arm for taking over the money supply. And this beast is in one of my other favorite quotes from an economist. And here's the name of the beast, the Federal Reserve. He says the Federal Reserve is the biggest robbery ever enacted on the American people. The Federal Reserve. People think it's part of the government. It's not. People think that it's helping them. It's not. Or people are just confused and don't know what the hell that Federal Reserve is. I don't know what it is. Reverend Val, tell me. Well, for me, if you ask me what the Federal Reserve is, yes, there's the textbook definition of the Federal Reserve and its function and what it does. If you ask me what the Federal Reserve is, it's a beast. It's a creature from Jekyll Island that was born out of the shared intention strategy to take over the world. You know, we always go see movies and we think, oh, it's so crazy, you know, it's so funny. Like Megamind, movies like Megamind, I'm going to take over the world. You know, we think that's funny. No, there are really people that really think that. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. There are really people that really say that. How can we take over the world? You know, maybe that's not a thought I'm having or a thought you're having. I'm having the thought, standing fully realized as a fully realized being in my full divine power. That's all that's required of you. Be a fully realized being in your full divine power. Divinity. Remember divinity. Everything else will work, because the change that you desire to see, as Gandhi told us, begins in your mind. So be the change you desire to be. If everyone on the planet was a fully realized being, this planet would change on a dime. So the Federal Reserve. So they creep off in the dark of night. If you read that book, that book is mind-blowing. Do something else for yourself. Get a Kindle. This is mine. Got a V on it. And just open your Kindle and just start getting a bunch of books on your Kindle. Start reading. Everywhere you go, read. Good books like this. The Art Planet Chronicles, The Making of the Fifth Ring. Yeah, get books like this. You won't see this on no average bookshelf. Get books about the Golden Dawn. Get books about Kabbalah, tarot, and get books from ancient Egypt, Egyptology, books from Egypt, not the Egypt that's in the history books, real Egypt. Get those kinds of books. Just study them, read them. Just read them. A lot of them are free online. Get the Key of Solomon, the Lesser Key of Solomon, the Greater Key of Solomon. Just start reading the Keys of Solomon. Oh my God. Oh my. Read the Book of Enoch. Read the lost books of the Bible about, quote unquote, Jesus' mother Mary and her life, and how she was an immaculate conception also from her mother, conceived without a father. What do these allegories mean? This is all metaphysical. What does it mean? What does it mean that Christ had 12 apostles? Well, there's 12 constellations in the sky, isn't there? Look at zeitgeist. Open your mind. And as you begin to open your mind and follow the trail Spirit is leading you on, you'll receive all the books, all the teachers, all the wisdom. Everything will come to you for you to wake up. Wake the fuck up. So, the financial system. Absolutely a creature, a beast created to do one thing. Keep you just above survival. You see, they have a very critical calculation of exactly when people start to revolt and run in the streets and protest. It's when their food costs more than 40% of their income. Study it. Don't listen to me on any of this stuff. Study it. It's all free on the internet. It's all free. And you know what? If you don't trust the internet and you don't want to read what's on the internet, turn within. Ask the inner wisdom that knows all, sees all, understands all. Ask the inner guidance. That's what I do. I ask the inner guidance. Is this real? Is this not real? It tells me, oh, that's real. That's not real. Okay, thank you. 40% is the number that if your food costs more than 40%, if you have to pay more than 40% of your income in order to eat food to even survive, you'll revolt in the streets instantaneously. It's proven fact. It's happened in every civilization. When the food got to be, in Paris, it happened to overthrow the queen. And, the queen said accordingly, let them, supposedly, let them eat cake, all that stuff. Because they already know at exactly what point you will protest and stand up and revolt and say enough. But if we can keep you like boiled frog just under the subsistence level, not a lot, not thriving, but not real bad either, and we just keep you there year after year after year. There's a plan to just keep you there year after year after year after year. Have you noticed that years and years and years have gone by? Your financial situation hasn't gotten a whole lot better than what it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. Your consciousness may have changed about it. Maybe you have more in the way of assets. Maybe you have more joy. Maybe you have more abundance in your life. But you look up, you don't seem to be a whole lot wealthier than you were 10, 20 years ago. There's a plan for that. And maybe you methodically and systematically saved in your 401k and your thrift savings plan. Oh, there's a plan that all that money isn't yours either. Maybe 50% of it is yours, if that. Watch and see what happens when you turn 59 and a half, beloved, and you start taking withdrawals out of those wonderful retirement plans that everybody has, Or when you become 70 and a half and you are subject to RMD, required minimum distributions, you are now talking to the financial advisor, Reverend Val, that was in the financial system, in the financial markets for 7 years at American Express and saw the whole thing firsthand in the financial system. Oh my God, people get robbed blind. If they're not getting robbed by confiscation through taxation, they're getting robbed by confiscation through mutual funds and the fees, including 12B1 fees that are invisible, that do not even have to be reported on your statements. Oh my God, they're being robbed blind by the fees of the banks. Banks make their money two ways, fees and spreads. And they're making their money from where? Off of money you put in the bank. Okay? Or they're being robbed blind by their broker, who had just got a big fat commission from them putting their money into an annuity. Oh, I know the game. Oh, I know it very well. Woo! So what's a person to do? So clearly, this financial system, yeah, all of it, control. It's a system to keep you right where they want to keep you, boiled frog. Never have you come into being a fully realized being. Yet my spirit was burning this message to wake up. Wake the fuck up, because we must come into our divinity and our sovereignty and our power and knowing who we are, standing in who we are, in love, not fighting anything. I don't fight anything. Stand in your power, everything else falls away. One thing I love about Bitcoin is that it was said by one of the Bitcoin teachers. It could have been Andreas Antonopoulos. It could have been Roger Ver, the one we call Bitcoin Jesus. I love those guys. I believe it was Andreas Antonopoulos. He said, you don't have to fight the banking system. You simply use Bitcoin. The banking system, it's going to fall of its own accord because it just doesn't, it becomes irrelevant. You don't have to fight something. It just becomes irrelevant. When you have a new thought, a thought of freedom, you don't have to fight the shackle thoughts. The shackles just fall away. If you're still fighting it, it means you're still in slavery. That's what it means. You don't have to fight. You don't have to protest in the streets. I never picked up a protest sign ever in my life. Never will. You know why? Because the second you pick up a protest sign, this means you are not free. If you pick up a protest sign and you have to protest and you have to tell somebody, give me my rights, it means you think you don't have rights, which is not true. You have rights. Why are you protesting for rights? You got to know in your mind that you already have the rights, and then you conduct yourself differently and you act differently. I'm going to end this with a story of this governmental system, these different schemes for taking over your mind that you are no longer going to be subject to, beloved. Hang with me. You will have a free mind. I was coming home from Indonesia. And I had been there. I'd planned to be there for a while, and my spirit was showing me that that was a preliminary trip, and I'll be going back again, and I'll probably have a home there. And I love it there. And Sanur Beach is like heaven. So I was leaving Bali, and when I came in, they gave me a visa, and the visa was for 30 days. And they said they're very strict on visas, that if you stay over 30 days, there's a fine, and they like to put people in jail and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, ooh, don't play with them. In Indonesia, do not overstay your visa. You're going to have a problem. Don't get all carried away and, oh, I'm in paradise. And 40 days later, they would put your ass in jail. Right? So I was leaving on the 33rd day after being there for 33 days. 33 days. Master number 33. I came to the airport. Oh, Miss Love, you're 3 days over your visa. I realize, I understand. Absolutely accurate. They took me in the back to talk to the men. Oh, would you step this way? Sure. I stepped away. I looked in the window office with the customs agents. Very interesting. I was looking around. Now I'm a fully realized being. Well, I don't know if I'm a fully realized being. I'm open to being even more fully realized in every moment. That's all I can say. I'm doing the best that I can, right? So yet I'm awake. I'm aware. I haven't arrived. I'm not enlightened. I'm doing the work. And I'm waking up more and more every day and looking for more ways to awaken and more ways to be free, completely in mind, and support you in doing the same thing and inspire you to do the same thing. So I walk into the office and I'm looking around. It smells like a rat in here. You know how your intuitive voice tells you corruption? You can smell it. And they were like, oh, Miss Love, Miss Love, because everywhere I go, everyone treats me like a queen and the goddess that I am. Oh, Miss Love, have a seat right here. Oh, yes, yes, thank you, thank you. And they're all looking at me, and I'm looking at them. Spread love and joy. And they say, you overstayed your visa. Yes, well, we hate to inform you there is a fine for this. There is X amount of day, every day for overstaying your visa. I understand. I saw that on the website. Okay. They said it's going to be 300,000, and I said, okay, rupiah, not U.S. Okay. For the people who are watching this video and just passed out, like, ooh. Honey, note to self, we're never going to Bali, Indonesia. They just passed out. No. It wasn't $300,000. It was 300,000 rupiah. 300,000? Okay. Well, I don't have cash on me, so I certainly wouldn't come to the airport to leave the country with 300,000 rupees still in my purse. I'm not going to take 300,000 of this country's currency over to this country. I'm not going to do that. So, sure. Is there a cash machine around somewhere? They said, yes, cash machine right there. First, I asked some questions. 300,000. Yes, see, it's all. I said, when I looked on the website, it says so and so. So what y'all trying to tell me up in this camp? They were, no, yes, really. It changed from the website. I said, you know what? I got you 300,000. No problem. Went to the bank, ching, spit out 300,000 rupiah. I gave it to him. Here's your 300,000. Oh, thank you. Have a beautiful flight, Miss Love. Oh, I will. Thank you very much. And I left. Now, this is what came to me. We have these interesting governments. We have all these interesting laws. We have all these interesting currencies. We have all these different borders, imaginary borders that we ourselves, we the humans, made up. Oh, this group of people lives here. This group of people lives here. This group of people lives here. And when you come here, you have to do these laws. And when you have here, you have to do this. And 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 you have to do this. It's all part of the scheme to control your mind. Do not get distracted, beloved. Do not get distracted. Your purpose for being here is what God put you here to be, do, and have. And that is to be a fully realized being, participating in the evolutionary ascension of every one of your brothers and sisters. Never get it twisted. Never get distracted. And by all means, extricate yourself from the matrix. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. This is Reverend Valerie Love at your service. Happy to share this message. Peace. Mwah. Visit me online at ValerieLove.com if you're ready to wake up.